Okay guys, so I'm back with another foundation tutorial, a bonus video for today. Basically, when you start any foundation tutorial, any makeup tutorial where you're going to be starting your foundation first, you want to start out with a cleansed and moisturized face. And I also have my hands very clean, very dry. That's why sometimes a lot of you notice my hands are very ashy. When I'm going in and touching my face, I like to make sure my hands are very clean. So my hands are clean, my face is cleansed, and now I'm going to moisturize it. It is daytime now, so I will be using my Rock Daily Moisturizer. I'm going to apply that all over first, and then we're going to move forward. I did a really great foundation video yesterday, and in that video I mentioned that you must let all of your products soak in, especially if you're going to use a powder foundation. I'm going to let this moisturizer sit for a couple of minutes, and then when we come back we're going to do our primer. Okay, so my moisturizer is all the way set in, and now I'm going to move on to primer. The primer you use will most likely have to do with your skin or what you're trying to use it for. If you have oily skin, go for a mattifying primer. If you have dry skin, go for a moisturizing primer that's great for flaky skin. I'm going to be using the NYC Smooth Skin Primer, and this is actually great for all skin types. So I'm going to take that and dot that in my T-zone, and I'm going to work that all over my face. And what I'll be using this for today is just to smooth my canvas. It's not mattifying, but it is going to make my makeup last a lot longer. There are a few brands that make primers, especially for mineral foundation and powder foundation. I personally don't really think it's that serious when it comes to choosing a primer based on your foundation, but if you are one of those types who wants to try one, I believe Sephora makes a couple of great ones. Okay, my moisturizer is set and my primer is set, and now it is time for concealer. Now the reason I like to do concealer first is because I like to use cream concealers, and being that we're using a powder foundation, you don't really want to put cream on top of powder unless your powder is wet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is apply my concealer, and then I'm going to set it with a powder. So we're going powder to powder. I'll explain more in a minute. I'll be using this medium concealer from CoverGirl. It's a new concealer. It is their CoverGirl in Olay, and it's a concealer balm, and it is color 360 medium. I'm going to apply that everywhere I have dark spots or areas that I want to cover. I have another routine covering dark spots in your skin using caramel, apricot, and peach color concealers, and I will have a link in the bottom bar as well as an annotation. Where you apply your concealer has everything to do with you and nothing to do with me. Okay, so I have a little bit of an under eye darkness. I have a couple of dark marks up here. I have a couple of dark marks, and have a little bit of a darker around my mouth area. So what I'm now going to do is blend that out. I'm going to take my Sigma P80 and make sure to blend everything very thoroughly. Another good tool to blend out your concealer is by using your beauty blending sponge. Make sure to use it wet so it doesn't absorb any of your product, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so for all you ladies out there that only wear concealer, that was probably a great little foundation tutorial for you guys. So I'm not done yet. What I'm going to do now is go in and create a barrier between my concealer and my foundation. Now, if I were to apply foundation right on top of this right now, powder especially, it would oxidize, and there'd be a few areas of my face that were very pigmented and very unattractive. So what I'm going to do, like I said, is create a barrier. I'm going to take some translucent setting powder, and I'm going to set my concealer, and then I will move forward. Just going to take it. You can use a puff, you can use your beauty blending sponge if you care. I'm just going to take a big fluffy brush from Sigma. This is the Sigma SS150 brush. Links and discount codes below, and I'm just going to set my concealer. Okay? So far so good. Now that my concealer is set and the powder has set for a while, I'm going to move on to foundation. I have several powder foundations here. I have one from ID Bare Minerals. The top is filthy, please ignore that. And the color is Golden Deep. And I really like this powder foundation. I think it may be a tad bit too deep for me, but it's a really great color. And I'm actually kind of leaning more toward Bare Minerals, whereas before I was kind of like, they really are not good. I really like the color payoff. I really don't like how they make me look gray. But this one right here has actually been pretty decent. Haven't used it in a while, but it's pretty decent. My next one is from Iman, and as you can see, the top is broken. And this is Iman in Earth Dark. And I think I may be clay rather than earth. This is a bit too red for me, but again, it is a great foundation. For my lighter toned women out there, my Asians, my Hispanics, my Caucasian women, Neutrogena makes some awesome powder foundations. This is the Neutrogena Skin Clearing Mineral Powder in Tan, and the reason I use this is I like to highlight with this, okay, so that's a great one. All you girls out there in my range, you're probably like, okay, so what are you going to be using today? What foundation are we going to be using? I will be using W10 True Match from L'Oreal. It's a really great powder. It actually looks a little bit too light for my skin, but once I put it on, it looks great. Oxidizes a little bit, it's really great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my F05 small contour brush from Sigma, and I'm going to buff that all over my face. Now, while in the process of doing this, if you feel like you are uncovering all of your flaws, if you feel like you're moving your foundation, you can definitely apply this with a brush. You can definitely take a very big fluffy brush, just like this, coat it with foundation, and you can apply it all over your face. You'd have to do a few more coats than if you were buffing, and you'd really have to push it into your skin. Even using a flat top buffing brush may be awesome for this. Okay, I'm just going to make sure to go in and really work it in the product, and then really work the product into my skin. If you need a little bit down your neck, just dust it. You know what? I don't use powder foundation a lot, but powder foundation, it looks really good. It makes your skin look matte and perfect, and it's really low maintenance. So this may be something that I visit a little bit more often. Now I'm going to go in with my CoverGirl Ebony Bronze, and I'm going to take that with my Sigma F05, and I'm going to bronze my face. If you need help with bronzer, how to apply it, or if you need help finding some more bronzers, great for your skin tone, I will have a wealth of videos in the bottom bar. Basically, you're just going to take that up the sides of your face. You're going to bring it more high than low, because if you bring it low, it's going to make you look like you have a beard. And I know mustaches are cool, but beards are not cute, girlfriend. Not cute at all. Okay, so I added my regular bronze, my bronzer, my I've Been Out in the Sun bronzer. Now I'm going to put on my, I've been playing in Gold Dust bronzer. And this is NYX Blush in Copper. And I'm going to use that just right along the sides of my face, because my whole face is pretty matte. And I just want to add a little bit of warmth to my face. And I'm using a Sigma F40, I believe. F40. My foundation honestly is pretty much done. You guys know I love to highlight and contour. My face is not done till it's highlighted and contoured. Now I've already contoured and I've almost pretty much highlighted as well. But what I'm going to do now is go in with Ben Nye powder in Camel. And I'm going to use that on a damp brush, and I'm going to go in and highlight my under eye area. Just going to take an E40, spray that with some Urban Decay All Nighter, pour some of that Ben Nye Camel into a cap, get a little bit on the back of my hands, onto my brush, and then on the back of my hands, and I'm just going to go in and lightly highlight. You can also use, like I showed you guys, the Neutrogena powder. You can also use that. I like the Camel because it has a little bit more warmth. And you really don't even have to wet it It's just something I like to do, and just a very little bit. And the way to keep your makeup from getting cakey is to make sure you're using the proper products for your skin type. For your skin type now, oily, acne, or dry. Those are the only skin type, not acne. Oily, dry, and combination are the only skin types. If you have acne, you probably have oily skin. So you're gonna make sure you're applying the right products for your skin type, and you're gonna also make sure to give them each time to settle in your skin, and you're gonna make sure to blend them properly, and you're not gonna rush. Okay, and if you see something going wrong and you have time, wipe it off and start again. Don't start experimenting with new foundation routines for your first date or your first day of work or your first day of school. Get your foundation routine down pat and don't fix it if it's not broken. Okay, so as you can see, I went in and done my eyebrows. I didn't do it on tape because I know that it will make this video too long, and my video from yesterday was 20 minutes, and I wanted to just help you guys really fast. So if you need help with your eyebrows, you can definitely click here. Okay, so another step in making your face look really great is going in and highlighting your eyebrows. Now, I usually don't do this after my foundation, especially when wearing powder foundation, but I'm just going to go in with my new foundation and just go along the edges and make my brows look a little cleaner than they are. I used a very close color to my skin when choosing this concealer, as well as using it for a highlighter. I want to make sure it's not too bright. I just came from a phase where I was using too bright of a concealer and you guys hated it, so. And then you can go and of course set it with powder. Okay guys, so for one of my favorite natural lip glosses that I like to wear with a plain face like this, I'm going to use Revlon Plumberry. And this is from their Beyond Natural line. Don't know if it's available anymore, but if you can get your hands on some of this stuff, it's the bomb daily lip gloss. There it is, the best drugstore powder routine ever.